Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, there's a new face over here. This is my friend Marjorie.
So we're gonna talk about 10 things that people don't tell you during and after pregnancy.
Hair loss. Marge, how can you elaborate, like what was your story on hair loss?
Well, I didn't lose any of my edges like a lot of women say. They say that happens, but I didn't lose my edges. I did have a lot, like I noticed more shedding than usual when I detangled my hair. So that's one thing that I did notice. I had a lot of more shedding than usual. But I didn't really see a difference in the thickness of my hair, even though I had a lot of shedding, which was weird.
Yes, and oh my gosh guys, she sent me a picture of her hair, and you guys will not like the first thing that I thought about, and no, I don't have a dirty mind. I thought it was it was hair.
Yeah, she thought it was huge. Like,
it just looked like that to me. So I mean, sorry, but I don't have a dirty mind, guys. I promise you. But I'll tell you, it's in the frame.
Oh, sorry. Oops.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh gosh. Do you see this? You know, I'm gonna just apply this lash back on camera. I'm not even gonna. This lash is hanging on for dear life. But yeah, the hair loss. Actually, during my pregnancy, my hair like really grew. Like I had really thin hair, but I actually grew a whole, like my hair really came in. Especially I had problems with my edges. You know, we ladies, we always have to care and protect our edges, but I had problems with my edges. But during my pregnancy, like my edges was coming through, guys. Like I'm not even lying. Like I was like so happy. I'm like, okay, let's have this baby staying a little longer. Why 9 months? Let's go a little longer. You know, so my edges could come through. And I was having thicker, fuller hair. So I was like really impressed and stuff, because I'm like, okay, the benefits, you know, of being pregnant, actually, you know, after going through so much during your pregnancy, that's one pro, right?
Yeah, I would say that definitely is a pro.
Yeah, that's a pro. So I was extremely happy. But guys, my hair started falling out. And you know what they told me? They told me that boys do not take out your hair.
That's the first I've heard. I've never heard that.
She never heard that.
I've never heard that. I just heard like your hair falls out. Well, some people, their hair, they would lose their edges, but it doesn't matter what the sex of the baby is.
I hear the girls take out your edges and your hair, give you bald spots, right? But the boys grow your hair. The boys grow your hair, but after you deliver the boys, they take back what they gave you, okay? And it was my hair, so I was like, oh gosh. Oh my god. Water breaking. Okay, so Marge, as you do your color correct, what's your water breaking story?
Well, actually, I was waiting for my water to break, but I actually went into labor before my water broke. So right before I was supposed to give birth, the doctor took a little stick and burst my amniotic sac and to get my water to break, because it didn't break on its own, which I thought was like something that was supposed to happen.
Like your water break just natural,
I thought it was just
right?
gonna break and then I would go into labor. I didn't know that you could actually go into labor without your water breaking.
My water broke while I was sleeping, guys. Oh my goodness, like how can your water, who would have thought that your water could break while you're sleeping?
Did you feel it like you felt it break while you were sleeping, and did that wake you up?
Yes. Like I was so shocked. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? I'm like, I know I need to pee the bed. I have my water breaking as well. But you know, that was really a shock to me, because even with my amniotic fluid coming down like that, I just was still in denial. Like, I thought like I actually peed the bed. like I actually thought I peed the bed, and it just kept coming down. And like, it was just crazy. I don't want to go too much in details, but like, it was just crazy. Like, guys, like, it was just, I don't know, it just hit me like, well, just like boom. Like, you know, like, I don't know, I didn't know that could have happened. But ladies, if like, you know, like, I don't know, I didn't know that could have happened. But ladies, if you guys are pregnant, if you're high risk, just to let you know, something like that could happen to you, okay? You could be lying down there in your bed, sleeping, and your water break. Okay, so don't be appalled.
Well, I guess it depends on your birth, but I've always thought that, based on TV shows that I watch, that the birthing process was extremely busy. Like, there would be a lot of doctors in the room shouting, pass me the, you know, whatever. And, you know, I'd be screaming, get this kid out of me. You know, I thought it was like a crazy process, but it actually was pretty peaceful. Like, even my husband thought, you know, that he was expecting more doctors in the room. Like, while I was giving birth, he didn't even know that I was actually giving birth. Like, he thought I was practicing. Well, the thing is, the nurse, she was telling me to, because we actually started out practicing, right? And then we went into actually the labor process, me pushing to give birth, because she wanted me to practice pushing first, and then I would actually do actual.
This looks so red, right? We look so red. We looking like what was.
You look orange and I look red. They're like, what the hell are they doing? Okay, we might look crazy now, but we're gonna fix up this process. Okay, it's gonna come out looking nice.
I'm like blending up. Like, hold on, I kind of look. I know orange and she look red. I just can't with these foundations. And I'm using actually the Too Faced Born This Way. This is in the shade Chai.
Oh, and I didn't tell you guys what I'm using. I'm using LA Girl Pro Concealer. It's a color corrector that I'm using right now.
Okay, yeah, so back to the story.
Yeah, so basically, the nurse was telling me that we're gonna practice pushing. So meanwhile, my husband was on the phone texting everybody saying, oh, you know, my wife is about to give birth. So after I practiced, my nurse was telling me, okay, every time you feel the contractions, just push. So we were actually in labor at that point. And then my husband, he had no idea. He actually asked the doctor. He's like, "Is this the real thing now? Like, are we still practicing?"
Oh my goodness!
And the doctor was like, "We're in the labor.
What world? Like, what world are you in, Joseph? Like, come on."
It was hilarious because he said, and then after he told the doctor, "Oh, I thought we are gonna have more doctors with scrubs." You know, he thought. Just like
that's for watching TV. Too much television, guys. Don't let that fool you, okay?
10 doctors in the room and the woman screaming. It was pretty peaceful. I didn't scream. You know, I just pushed every time I felt my contractions, and it was a pretty calm experience. It wasn't as like hectic as I thought it was gonna be. So that was different from what I expected.
Oh my goodness. You know what? My pregnancy, my birthing process, like, I thought everything was going to be like, you know, like nice and, well, definitely not calm, but, you know, just like the regular, you know, birthing process where you don't have to, you just go in and then you push and there comes the baby.
How were the contractions for you? Because I had a different experience from most women. Like, were they really bad?
Ladies, oh my goodness, the contractions. The contractions is the worst. It's worse than giving birth. It's the worst than pushing out the baby, actually. It is the worst. I thought I was going to die. I started writing my will. Lie down in my mind. Writing my will in my mind on that hospital bed. I thought that I was going to pass out. Did you feel like you were gonna pass out?
You know, actually, it was not that bad for me. It wasn't that bad. I mean, it hurt. Like, okay, because I was used to really bad contractions during my period. Like, I was used to having bad contractions.
Like that?
Yeah. So it just felt like a bad period for me. So it wasn't.
No, not for me. You see what I'm talking about? Two completely different. It's like everything she says is the opposite of what happened to me. Like,
and it's so funny because my friend scared me. She told me, because when I asked her what are contractions like what do they feel like, she said it feels like someone is stabbing you, kicking you, and punching you at the same time. So I was so terrified when she told me.
That friend spoke the truth.
Terrified.
That friend spoke the truth, because that's exactly. And then she forgot to mention the host part, because I felt like I was pushing out a host. I felt like I was pushing out. Oh my goodness, it hurt so much. I felt like my ribs was crushing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's what it felt for me. It wasn't a sharp pain, because that's what made me really afraid, because I thought it was gonna be a sharp pain. But it was a dull pain for me. You don't feel the contractions once you get the epidural. You just feel the pressure from the contractions, but you don't feel the pain. So that's the great thing about the epidural. I mean, you feel everything that's going on down there. Without feeling the pain from the contraction. I think the contractions, like if you're actually feeling a full contraction while pushing, I can't imagine how painful that would be. That's why I didn't want to have a natural birth. I wanted the epidural. I knew that I wanted that.
Oh my goodness, Marj. Like, mine, ladies, if any gentleman is watching, and gentlemen, like, mine was just like so completely different, and I just felt like I was about to die.
Oh my god.
How were you positioned when you were getting the epidural?
I had to like bend forward.
Did they have you lean over on something?
And there's like a hole.
Slouch?
Yeah, there's a hole in the back of your gown, and you bend forward, and then the
contractions
don't
are coming.
Move. Like, even if you feel the contractions, don't move. But the good thing about it is when he was right about to do it, I felt a contraction. So he waited for the contraction to pass, and then he did it. So then I didn't have to worry about moving and potentially being paralyzed for the rest of my life.
Oh my goodness. Like, for me, while he was doing it, like, I'm not setting, guys. I'm not baking. So I'm just pressing this powder into my highlight. But when he came in for me to give me the epidural, I was just like, I was so out of it, guys. Like, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my god. He's like, Miss Honeywell, please don't move, because remember, we don't want to hit any spine. We want to make sure that you are completely still. And I'm like, oh my god, but there's a contraction coming up. Give me a minute. And you know, you can't really have them in the room that long, right? So you have to actually like hurry up. And I'm like, oh god, hold on. I think one more coming. I was like, oh my god, I think one more coming. Just give me a minute. Just give me one more minute. So I was there. I was like, oh, and then you know, I do my thing. I let the contraction pass, and I'm like, hurry up. I was like, hurry up.
Oh my god.
I did my crowd show. I was like, hurry up. So I did it, and the contraction, because you know, they start coming closer. You know, they're far apart, but then they start coming closer, and I'm like, oh my god, one coming. And I tell you, all that was going through my mind is, you don't want to get paralyzed. You don't want to be paralyzed. That's what actually kept my composure, being in that position. You know, just going through my mind that you gotta keep still. You don't want anything to happen. You don't want this man touch your spine or anything that he's not supposed to. Keep your still, okay? So I just have it going through my head and stuff like that. I kept still. I got it. This is just to let you guys know that delivery, having a baby, girl, it ain't no joke. you're gonna be feeling a lot of pain, okay? Her story is different.
Or you might not feel that much pain.
Exactly. This is it. This is an arrow over here. You might not feeling that much pain. You might be feeling tons of pain, okay? So that's for me, because I was feeling it.
No one told me about during pregnancy or after pregnancy was actually how your skin changes color after you give birth. Because I noticed after I gave birth, my entire stomach and chest area turned really, really dark. And my skin was really, really dry. And I was wondering why that was, but I did a Google search, I remember, and I think it said something about hormones.
I can relate. I can relate because my tummy was freaking black.
Yeah, my stomach was black.
Yes.
So this is NYX Butter Glass. I love this glass. It looks so natural with my lip color. I'm using this on my lips. I use the NYX eyeshadow on my eyelids, and I think that's can't even remember the name of this makeup that but it's a NARS Sheer Glow in the color Mako. I think that's how you pronounce it. Mako, I don't know. But yeah.
What she said, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, guys. But yes, like, you know, your tummy get black, you know, your...
But then it doesn't stay that way. Eventually goes away, like,
of course, for the ones who are concerned.
It's not a permanent
no, it's not permanent. It's not permanent at all. It does go away. You see how the color, like the shade of the foundation just diffuse? You see how it come back a little bit to our natural skin? You see that?
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so the next and final thing is breastfeeding. Woo, 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 woo. We know that there is sometimes trial and error. I'm sorry if you see hands going up and stuff. The baby is
Someone is breastfeeding.
Okay, but there is actually trial and error in, you know, doing breastfeeding, pros and cons.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh my gosh. Let's start with the cons. Oh my god. I'm just remembering my experience when I began the breastfeeding journey. I thought my boobs were going to fall off. That's how painful it was. To me, it was more painful than the contractions.
Really?
Yes, because my baby was chomping down on my boobs with his gums. His gums felt so hard, and he was clamping on my areola, and it was so painful.
Wow.
So it was very difficult for me in the beginning, but then it got easier, and the pressure wasn't as bad. Like my baby wasn't chomping down as much. Or some people say that your breast gets used to the pain, like it gets tougher. But I feel like my baby like kind of loosened his grip. My milk didn't come in until that's another thing that I wanted to talk about is your milk coming in.
Yes,
because mine didn't come. It didn't come in right away. It came like about maybe like 3 weeks after I gave birth.
Wow,
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah, probably 3 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think I'm exaggerating. I think 3 days.
3 weeks. Oh.
3 days. Not 3. Yeah, my baby would have started.
And she's strictly breastfeeding, guys.
Yes,
Strictly
and my baby's
breastfeeding.
almost 11 months, and I've been breastfeeding all the way. He hates solids. I tried giving him solids, but he usually spits it out. So I breastfeed him, and his weight is great. The doctor said, he's doing well. So he's not underweight. So it's a good thing.
That's a wonderful thing. So this is our end look. Do you guys like it? This is her natural. You want to show some of the products that you use as well?
So this is, I showed the color corrector already. So this, I use, the only thing about this is that it's no longer, they no longer sell it anymore. But,
is there a dupe?
You can use the concealer. Because it's a stick foundation. And I use it as a concealer. So you can, so you can use the concealer.
Guys, Guys, oh my goodness, she has this stick. Like, we went to Sephora today.
Okay, wait, that
and
sounds
she-
perverted.
Oh my goodness, it does.
Your mind's in the gutter.
She's putting her mind in the gutter. Oh my goodness. But for real, like, we went to Sephora today, like, looking for a foundation for her and stuff. And she kept asking for stick everything. Oh my goodness, I'm like, stick. The young lady was looking at me like, stick, stick, oh no, what stick she talking? I thought she was talking about, like, you know, like stick, like, you know, this,
No.
like, I don't even know.
Yeah, because it's okay for me. Stick foundations or stick concealers, they just look more natural. I'm trying to push it out. They just look more natural. Like, when you put it on, it doesn't give you that cakey look, which is my experience. Well, I'm not a makeup expert. From my experience, foundations that I've used always have like a thick layer that kind of make me look cakey. So because I am a no makeup look type of person, I like stick foundations or stick concealers because they look more natural to me.
Oh, and Marj, do you have anything to say?
Well, I'll just say that I do have a natural hair channel, so if you want any natural hair tips, you can check me out. I'm Breathe Life. I'm gonna start back up because I started but I had stopped, but this is my natural hair. So if you want to know how to grow your natural hair, I can give you some tips on that. Breathe Life on YouTube. And I also am M Queens on YouTube, where I do documentaries on Black women. So if you're interested, please check me out.